Okay, guys, hope that you understood the story properly. Now we are going to try the comprehension section, and in today's session we are planning to like cover A1 and A2 areas of comprehension. So let us try with A1. The first question is, what did Max do that Morvena felt was a terrible thing? Acha. Well, see, Max had already fed three ants to the ant lion, and now he had brought a meat ant, and this is what Morvena thought was a terrible thing to do. What did the meat ant encounter at the bottom of the pit? The meat ant encountered an ant lion at the bottom of the pit. What was the scene outside the pit? Okay, so here we are going to talk about the scene not inside but outside the pit. So outside the pit, Max and Morvena were, waiting anxiously to see how the battle between the meat ant and ant lion ends. Morvena was actually like quite scared as well, and she covered her eyes with her hands. At the same time, she was also interested in whatever happened inside that pit, and that's why she kept looking through the cracks between her fingers. Max was quite excited and he watched the whole thing as a sport. Now, the next question is, describe the battle between the meat ant and the ant lion. Yes, the battle. Once Max pushed the meat ant into the pit, it slid and went down almost to the bottom. Uh, the ant tried to move out of there. Okay. However, you can say that the ant lion moved and it thrust its stumpy forelegs from the sand and began to jerk its head, heavy and tool-like. It caught the ant, the meat ant. The meat ant grew weaker, slower. Its struggles were more spasmodic now. Ant lion saw its chance. It released the leg and seized the ant. It pulled the meat ant down. Slowly, both vanished inside the sand. So you can, take this entire section of the story as your answer. Why did Max and Morvena ran away after witnessing the battle in the pit? This is a slightly difficult question. Okay, one possibility is that maybe the whole act of the ant lion hunting or eating the ants might have frustrated him after providing him that initial sense of excitement. और दूसरी possibility ये हो सकती है that watching the ant lion kill the helpless ant after that struggle made him sad and even a bit guilty, and that is why he detached himself from that scene and everything around there, right? And he started running from there. After Morvena saw Max running, she hesitated for a moment and then she also started running. So that is one option, one possible answer to this question. Another possible answer could be that Max had got tired of feeding the ant lion and watching them fight or struggle, and that is why he wanted to do something else, something new, and hence he ran off from there, and Morvena just followed him. Although Morvena knew that they were cruel to the ant, she did not help it. What does this tell you about her? Well, although Morvena knew that they were cruel to the ant, she did not help it, right? And it, basically shows that she is not very strong, or she is not strong enough to up to her moral standards. Okay, so many of us have this kind of weakness where we know that something that we are doing is wrong, and still we cannot resist it. As I gave you the example of, like eating sugarcane from somebody else's farm, राइट। हमें पता होता है कि चोरी जो है वो गलत बात है, नहीं खाना चाहिए, लेकिन फिर भी कभी कभी मन जो है वो बहक जाता है। या फिर लाइक मैंगो सीजन इज अबाउट टू कम एंड इवन देयर इट हैपेंस, राइट, यू नो दैट टेकिंग मैंगोज फ्रॉम समबडी एल्सेस orchard is wrong, but still, दिल तो बच्चा है जी। So the same kind of thing happens here, right? That even though Morvena knew that they were cruel to the ant, she did not help it, because like while she is aware of the like shame of her action, at the same time she is also like excited to see them, or she's also curious to know what would happen in that fight. How have the attitudes of the children changed by the end of the story? Cite examples from the text to support your answer. Well, the initially the children are like quite interested and quite excited about this whole thing. They gradually, because that, however, gradually they become they start growing tired of it, and then they eventually become completely detached from it. So well, this is the response. This is the like possible response to the comprehension section. Now, sorry, A1 in the comprehension section. Now let us look at these reference to context-based exercises. Only a flurry of sand in the bottom of the little pit marked for a few seconds the ants' last struggle. What does the word flurry indicate? Well, flurry here indicates like quick movement of sand. Okay, quick movement of sand caused by the struggle between the meat ant and the ant lion. Next is, why was the ant's life coming to an end? Because like meat ant was going to like eat him. What else? Now the next question is, the two children sat up slowly, breathing again. They looked at each other with a kind of guilt. Okay, so why did the children begin to breathe again? Well, because like they had watched the, I mean, I mean the like battle between the ant lion and the meat ant was so engrossing that they stopped even breathing. Right? It was an intense fight. And it was only when the fight ended and ant lion overpowered the meat ant that they could breathe again. And next question is like, why did they feel guilty about the whole thing? Well, Max and Morvena felt guilty because Max had put the meat ant into the pit, and Morvena had the chance of like saving or rescuing the ant, but she did not try. And that is why like they somewhere feel responsible for the death of meat ant, and hence they feel the guilt. Next question is, it looked big and strong, frigidly pulling down the sand of the slope in its struggle to escape. Perhaps it might get away. If the ant was big and strong, why was it trying to escape? Well, because antlion is a natural predator for them. Okay? Because antlion actually feeds on ants, so the ant had to run away. Next is like, what does the word perhaps hint at? Okay, well, perhaps suggests that the narrator or the kids were, I mean, the narrator is hoping that the ant might be, like able to get out of that pit and survive. Shamed, enraptured, she clung to the tree root with one hand and stared down. Why does Morvena experience contrasting emotions? Shamed and enraptured. These are the contrasting, like emotions. So why does Morvena experience these contrasting emotions? So well, see, like I mean, she feels ashamed because she could not save the meat ant, and on the other hand, she is like very curious to see how this battle between two insects, like ends, and that is why like she is enraptured by the by that fight, struggle. Why did she cling to the tree root? Well, she clings to the tree root because she was totally, like shocked by or surprised by whatever was happening inside the pit. Okay, she was, like emotionally, like she was emotionally very, like charged, and that's why, like she wanted to hold on to something. The silence was the strangest thing, Morvina thought. Round them, the afternoon continued. So, why did Morvina feel that the silence was odd? Well, see, like during that encounter between the ant lion and meat ant, the ant lion sees the meat ant and both engage in their soundless struggle, right? Although the struggle was fierce, but it was soundless, and that is why that silence seemed strange to Morvina. How does the scene outside the pit differ from the action inside? Well, outside, like everything is working. I mean, everything is happening in its, like same monotonous way. The reference to, like particular insect that is making that, like monotonous sound, and like the afternoon slowly moving. So everything is, like slow and monotonous outside the pit, while like inside the pit there is a fierce battle going on. So uh, that's the difference between both the scenes. So well, that's it, like for A2 area. Now we will meet for the next session where we deal with the discuss-based questions, A3, and subsequently we will also look at the vocabulary section, which seems to be quite rich, frankly speaking. So let's wait for the next session then. Bye bye.